Good afternoon and happy Friday. My name is Jerry Miller. Welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's great to be with you on a chilly, chilly Friday. Weekend around the corner. We do live music on Fridays, and we have the fabulous folks from the Front Porch on the show today. Robey Morrison is the director. She's kind enough to join us. She's brought Malia Furtado with her, the director of music education, on the show, and we're going to play some live music. We will reintroduce you to the Front Porch and everything that they're doing well by the community. The whole mission of the I Love CVille Show is to feature the best of Charlottesville, Virginia, the best of Central Virginia, and I think the Front Porch undoubtedly embodies that mission statement. Before we welcome the ladies to the show, let's thank some of the fine folks that make the program possible. We are an advertising agency at I Love CVille and VMV Brands, and two of the clients we've had the most tenure with are Dr. Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine and Interstate Pest and Service Companies. We manage all aspects of their brand that interfaces with the marketplace. And first, we'll start with Interstate. The business started in 1969 with the first generation, Mr. Robert Wells. He used sweat equity in his personal truck to launch a company. In 1969, around Charlottesville, he was using payphones to call his customers and say, hey, can I go to your home and service your home? Today, Interstate Pest and Service Companies has 4 generations of family running the company, almost 100 employees behind it, and a working footprint of the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. It's fabulous. Dr. Wagner's growth is also very inspiring. We started working with Dr. Wagner and his team when it was just him and 2 or 3 chiropractic assistants. Now 6 doctors, over 30 chiropractic assistants and staff. He bought the old Quinn Farmer auction house and is building a clinic of epic proportions. Scott Wagner has your back through physical therapy, sports medicine, and chiropractic care. We already have people joining us like Jay Wyan and Troy, like Brennan Murphy. Keely Rodriguez is watching, I believe, in Georgia. Jason Barnett and Fluvanna. Cameron Wells Marsh, hello. You're getting some props already. And Judah, go to the studio cam from Cecilia. She says, I can't wait to see you on the program. So give it a like, give it a share. You see Emily over here. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming on the show. And the first time I've had a chance to meet Malia. Hello.
Hi.
I'm excited to hear you guys play some music. Before we get to the tunes, how about a reintroduction of the Front Porch to the viewing audience?
Sure. The Front Porch is a music school and concert venue. We teach music lessons and offer group classes to about 200 people per week in downtown Charlottesville. And we have 2 or 3 concerts a week in our venue, which is an intimate listening room venue that features a lot of different kinds of roots and folk and Americana music. And we also do a lot of outreach and service work in the community, teaching free music classes and lessons to kids throughout the area. Many of them are the kids who need the joy of music, like we all do. And our mission is to make sure that music is accessible and attainable for everyone who wants to be part of it. And we also are interested in gathering the community together to play music as much as we possibly can. So we host jams and dances, as well as concerts and classes to facilitate group music experiences.
I love it. So I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, and I know you're going to pass the attention on to your team, but you're the ringleader. You are the director. In a lot of ways, your vision and brainchild are reality. When did you start the Front Porch, and how do you feel seeing that the Front Porch has had such a positive impact in the community?
Thank you for asking. So the Front Porch started in 2015, so we're only about 4 years old. And it started as a side project that we started in my house, actually, in Belmont. It was related to, I had worked as a music teacher in a school and really wanted to bring that energy into the community more broadly. So people came to my house for lessons and classes, and we had concerts and jams. And very quickly, we outgrew that space and ended up in downtown Charlottesville on Water Street in 2016. And we've just been jamming ever since.
Yeah?
It's been great. It's been very cool to watch it evolve and unfold as people have become involved.
I love it. How about some of the nuances of teamwork to make the dream work? You have one of your team members, and Caden Reynolds, watching the show right now. You have another one sitting across from you here. Spotlight the team for us.
We have just the most incredible team. It's been, in fact, I'll tell you, because I think you could probably relate to this, the part of starting this organization, I didn't anticipate that for me the most gratifying part would be putting together a great team to run it, but it is by far the most amazing part of it for me personally, is putting together a staff that takes this nascent idea and turns it into the most beautiful reality, bigger than what I could have, my wildest dreams, honestly. So yes, we have Malia Furtado who's joining us today, and she is our Director of Music Education.
Nice.
And she began working for us a long time ago, actually, close to the beginning of the organization. Malia started teaching fiddle. And then last year also, so in addition to being a staff teacher, she also helps support and guide our entire teaching staff, which has about 25 teachers, and has been taking on the project of writing curricula for our core music classes this year, which has been a big focus of her work. And I'll let her talk about that.
I'm excited.
More.
Yes. Susan Bro, welcome to the program.
Susan!
She's watching. Derek Powell, Van Holton watching right now. Teresa Furtado is watching. Is that obviously family right here?
Yes. Malia has a big family.
Okay, I see that.
all
Dale
musicians.
Gorski is watching right now. Give it a like, give it a share. Folks in Richmond, Northern Virginia, D.C., and now 4 states watching the program. Introduce yourself.
Well, as Emily said, my name's Malia, and I grew up playing fiddle and violin, and I've been teaching at the Front Porch for a few years now, but I taught a lot and performed a lot for many years before that. So,
cool.
But now the main focus is working on different curriculum development. So I'm working on a kids fiddle curriculum right now, and working on adult fiddle curriculums, and then also kind of heading up the project of having other teachers contracted to write other curriculums for different instruments like guitar and banjo and mandolin and I think that's all right now. Ukulele.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, how'd you pick up the fiddle? What was the influence?
Well, my family started with the Suzuki method when we were really young, but my uncle plays fiddle.
Okay.
So we just started playing
Yeah?
bluegrass and stuff.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Front Royal. My mom's side of the family is from the Shenandoah Valley, and my uncle told us that we should go to this fiddlers convention that's very popular in Southwest Virginia, and so we started going there when I was really young, and that just, most of my siblings do not play classical anymore. I'll just say that. So yes.
Musical influences.
Oh, there's like so many.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as fiddle players, it would be, well, I mean, I love Ishtak Perlman and Hilary Hahn, and then some different cellists and pianists, and then Johnny Gimbel is a fiddle player.
Nice.
Stuart Duncan, Kenny Baker. I mean, I could go on and start geeking out, but
Yeah.
I'd probably lose some folks.
I don't think I've asked you your musical influences before. Have I?
You haven't. And my main musical influences were my parents. I grew up in a musical family, and my parents were both musicians, and they were in a kind of folk rock band before they had me, and then all through our childhood. And my dad was a songwriter, and so we spent a lot of our time following them to gigs, listening to them rehearse, and then also playing music in church. My mom was always a music director at the church where we grew up. So I'm a person who grew up playing and singing in church, like many people do. And so those were my primary musical influences. The music that was playing in my house when I was growing up was like Laurel Canyon, Jackson Browne, James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, kind of 60s and 70s
Iconic
rock and roll stuff. That's what I cut my teeth on. But I grew up in Southwest Virginia, where the music that ran through the veins of my community was traditional music, like bluegrass and Appalachian old time, and a lot of string band music. So but I would say those dual influences were a big deal for me.
So I'm super pumped about this interview. Bluegrass, undoubtedly some of my favorite music. I feel like this is just going to be a gift on a Friday.
Awesome.
So thank you. We're already having this on the feed. This is from Tim in Richmond. Jerry, enough talking already, and let the ladies start playing music. All right, I will stop. That comment just put on the feed. Give it a like and a share on any of the 12 Facebook pages. If you'd like to relay a message to the ladies, put it in the comment box. I'm going to get out of the way. The show is yours.
Okay. You want to play some music?
All right.
Maybe we'll start with one of the Carter family tunes. Is that cool with you?
Yep.
So Malia has started teaching a Carter family tunes class at the Front Porch on Monday nights, which I am taking. I'm one of her students. And I have to say, because I spend a lot of my time being the director of the Front Porch, I actually don't get the opportunity to play as much music as I would like to. So it's fun for me to get to do this today with Malia. And I'm not a professional musician. I'm a student like many of our students at the Front Porch. So Malia is a professional musician. So while I think a lot of people feel nervous about starting something new, I actually picked up the banjo when I was in my mid-30s. And it's been a really fun pursuit of mine, an avocation, not a vocation.
So you've been playing the banjo for a year and a half.
Love it. True story. No, a little bit longer. But I just want to throw that out there, that this is in many ways a teacher-student relationship that's happening on the stage today, even though I'm the, whatever, boss of the Front Porch.
Okay.
Not really, but so to speak. Malia, do you want to say anything about Carter family stuff?
Please.
Sure. Well, I mean, the Carter family, if you play, well, actually, I feel like the Carter family are extremely important to any sort of American music. But they came from, are they even Virginia or Tennessee? I hardly even know. Virginia. I think. Mm-hmm. And so many of their songs have come into sort of mainstream knowledge. And I think a lot of people don't even know where those songs come from. But if you start to sing a Carter family song, pretty much anyone will probably be familiar with at least one or two of them. So they're really, really cool. I really, really love playing them. They were a big part of the big boom of country music, which took place in Bristol. So it's a lot of fun to play. We're going to play a song. I think we're going to do Bury Me Beneath the Willow, which is one of their most popular songs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're ready.
Okay. And excuse me for looking at the lyrics, but like I said, I'm not a pro. Let me just...
We're doing this in C.
Oh, in C.
4 states watching, no pressure. 4 states watching right now.
Can you play a C for me? You play a C.
Oh.
Or G.
That's my G. You have to tune the banjo a lot because it does a different tuning for a lot of different keys. So if you change keys, you have to retune.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I like how you feel.
Takes a minute.
That was good. That's your first rodeo.
Yeah.
That sound okay?
Yeah.
All right. You want to kick it off?
Sure, I'll just do a whole verse. 1, 2, 3.
My heart is sad and I am lonely for the only one I love. When shall I see her? No, never till we meet in heaven above. Oh, bury me beneath the willow, under the weeping willow tree. Oh, so she will know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me. She told me that she dearly loved me. How could I believe it untrue? Until the angel softly whispered, she will prove untrue to you.
under the weeping willow tree. So she will know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me. Oh, bury me beneath the willow, under the weeping willow tree, where she will know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me, and perhaps she'll weep for me.
Nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tell me what you love about the song.
Oh, that one, I don't know. It's
Soulful.
yes. All of their songs are so simple, but then there's just something about them that make you want to just play them forever.
Yeah?
I don't know what it is. Very simple, very soulful, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It just grabbed
that
you.
one is the story in that song is of a jilted lover, and often these old songs. I think part of the reason people played them is it helped them to deal with all the pain of being a person.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
And so lots and lots of these old traditional songs that come from, especially the Scotch-Irish heritage, the islands. Many of these people are living hard scrabble lives in the mountains, just scratching out an existence. And there are a lot of songs about heartache and pain and suffering, and there's something to that, there's something resonant there.
Absolutely. We got a question coming in for you.
Yeah.
This is from Crozet. Lauren wants to know, first, is that a fiddle or violin? And second, can you describe the differences between the two instruments? Good question.
Sure, yes. It's a very popular question. They're actually the exact same instrument. The only difference that still sort of exists, not that there ever was a huge difference, but is the bridge. So violinists like a more arched bridge because then it's easier to play one string at a time. And fiddlers do a lot of two strings at a time when they play, so they prefer flatter bridges. So a lot of times, and sometimes it's just a quality of tone, but it's the same instrument, it's just a little bit of a different bridge.
Do you have a personal favorite?
Well, I've always played with a more arched bridge,
Okay.
but I'm also more of a bluegrass fiddler, which
Okay.
does. I was playing kind of more old-timey, I guess, when I played that song to fill out since we don't have a guitar. But normally, bluegrass fiddlers do a little bit fewer of the double string playing.
Okay, and another question coming in. This one's for you, Emily. Is it easy to transition from a banjo to a guitar?
Yes, sort of.
Okay.
So the basic fundamentals are the same, and the guitar and the banjo are both fretted instruments that are mostly chorded, but you can also play the melody. And so just in that sort of conceptual way, you're strumming or picking with the right hand, and there are some similar techniques that you use for creating a sound that include hammer-ons and pull-offs. These are like specific techniques that are used on banjo and guitar. But banjos have 5 strings, guitars have 6 strings, and they're tuned completely differently. So there isn't, the transfer of knowledge in terms of how you fret is completely different. But the bigger picture is similar.
I love it.
I think that answers
That
what
does
else?
answer it.
I would kind of add that it's a lot of times, the left-hand technique is going to be the same. Of course, there's the bigger picture understanding. It's pretty easy to understand transferring from one to the other for guitar and banjo. But then a lot is in the right-hand technique. You have to sort of
Really different.
learn that. But you have the left-hand skill and the overall knowledge to sort of go back and forth.
Is there one that's easier to start with for an aspiring guitar or banjo?
I actually think, if you really want to know what is easier to start with, banjo or guitar, I would say banjo.
Okay.
And there are a few reasons for that. A, there are fewer strings. B, the neck tends to be a little smaller, especially for females. Guitar necks are big and chunky. It takes a lot of hand strength and arm strength. Not that we are not strong, ladies, just saying that sometimes this thin neck makes it easier to learn how to fret.
Okay.
You don't have to push quite so hard. I play a little guitar, and I personally find the banjo just a raw, easy versus hard to be an easier instrument to play. Guitar is a very complicated instrument. A lot of people start with it, it's super common. It's great. A lot of people start with ukulele as a starter instrument for the guitar because you can tune it in such a manner that it's a similar tuning to the way a guitar is strung.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, people are asking for another song. We will get to it shortly, guys. Give it a like and a share on any of the Facebook pages you're watching. Krista Tortora is giving you some props. Tara Linhart giving you some props. Drew Machulich. Dan McCoy. I'm messing some names up here. Cecilia says she loves what she's hearing. Sandra Carr watching right now. Emily, your page blowing up. Spencer McElroy watching the program.
Spencer?
Van Holton. Donna Heel giving you some love. We have Chris watching in Richmond. Stacy Vaughn Norris of the House Project. She's the executive director of the Houses of Wood and Straw, building houses for animals across Central Virginia, is watching the program now. I know my role on Fridays, and that's to stop talking. The show is yours.
Okay, you want to do Angeline?
Sure. Are you in D?
Oh, sorry. Hold on. So we're going to play Angeline the Baker, and I'm just going to reiterate what I said earlier, which is that Malia is a teacher at the Front Porch and a bluegrass fiddler, and is from a large family of accomplished musicians, and I am a student of the banjo who enjoys playing with people as much as possible, but I don't do it for a living.
But you're very good.
I'm fine. And I have to retune this. We're almost there.
Cool. Take your time. No rules here.
Does this sound okay? She's the
good.
one.
Oh my God, you're the bomb.
So
Tell me about that song, please.
That is an old, just another, there's so many ancient fiddle tunes that's just kind of standard repertoire, and that's one of them. That's a very popular one called Angeline the Baker, sometimes Angeline the Baker. Has a couple different names over the years, but yeah, that's an old fiddle favorite.
Why a favorite for you?
It's just pretty. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just another. It's pretty. It's fun to play.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's a really good banjo fiddle duet. So
I did love the duet there.
I'll say also, Angeline the Baker is a really common tune that beginners learn early in their repertoire. And part of it, there's some simplicity to it. You know, it has a simple chord structure. And one of the things that we do a lot at the Front Porch, part of the reason that we are a folk school is because we like to play music that people can start playing together as soon as possible.
Okay.
To get people in the same room playing music and having it sound like music, having early success. And Angela and the Baker is one of those songs.
Yeah.
So for us in our curriculum, it comes early in the sort of list of tunes that people learn because they can play it together really simply.
Right.
So the way our classes are structured, all of our beginner students in our sort of core classes take lessons at the same time, and then they get together and jam afterward. So they might learn Angela and the Baker. That might be their...
Currently in the semester, the guitar students have learned the melody for this, and the fiddle students are just learning to sort of shuffle behind it. Because,
Cool.
like Emily said, it's a really simple tune. There's only 2 chords. There's D and then G, and that's all. So it's very easy to play this tune, and of course it sounds nice. And the nice part is that beginners can play it, but advanced students or advanced players still like to play it because it's just one of those songs.
You're saying tangible productivity breeds confidence
Exactly.
and engagement.
And also creates beautiful relationships in the moment. You know,
Yeah.
there's just this way that people come together and connect that is qualitatively different than anything else when you're playing music. It's
love it.
just so special. It's like magic.
Give us a fly on the walls perspective of your class.
A fly on the wall perspective. Well, so we usually start by kind of warming up on some tunes we've played a while, which include Violin Cabbage Down and now Shortening Bread, and we just started learning Cripple Creek. And then we start working on whatever's new. So we've covered, we actually did a Carter family song recently in the fiddle class, which is Will the Circle Be Unbroken? And then after we've sort of woodshedded a little bit on the new material and sort of spot practiced whatever challenging spots they've had, then we go into a big room where we join the mandolin students and the banjo, or sometimes the banjo students and the beginner guitar students, and then we all play the songs that we've learned in common. And then if we haven't learned everything in common, then we learn to just chop along or play some longbow back up to, and then we all play together.
Alex Butterfield says Malia Furtado and Emily Morrison. I love those amazing women.
We love Alex so much. What's up, Alex? Hello.
Give it a like and a share on any of the streams that you're watching. Dan Blake, Mike Stanley, welcome to the program. Folks now in southwestern Virginia, which I would believe is your influence watching the program right now. Folks in Harrisonburg and the Shenandoah Valley, I would love to hear another song.
Sure. Want to do I'll Fly Away?
I kind of unprepared them and said maybe we'll have some fun. They came in with 1, so they're coming on the fly and coming up with another 4 for a total of 5. Live shows at their best, Emily. But they're going to adapt.
G.
Sure.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Let me get it in my head. One, two, three.
Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Some glad morning.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong verse. I'll fly away
To a land on God's celestial shore, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away
so beautiful. Emily, I love that song. Ron Gantz, the guitarist from South Canal Street, watching the program. Suzanne Jenkins, hello. Talk to us about the song.
Well, what do you say about I'll Fly Away? That's just a really good old song that I've been listening to my entire life. Popularized probably by Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
Is that true?
In recent times, yeah,
Most
probably.
recently, I
Great
would
movie.
say. But is a very beautiful old standard. And
Yeah.
I was blanking on the lyrics, even though I've sung that song probably 1,000 times. I need Alex Butterfield in here with
She's
me.
watching.
I know she is. You
Yeah.
should have been in here, Alex. I needed you.
So many of these songs are so old too, though, that we don't really know the original story for them. It's just something that you've grown up hearing or and playing a million times, and it's been recorded by probably a million different people too.
Yes.
And I love how you guys, when you guys are playing songs that have this kind of history and legacy, you're kind of like not reinventing them, but giving them like your own personal perspective, which takes it to like another dynamic level, which is one of the beautiful aspects, I think, of music, and certainly one of the few realms or spaces or niches where like you can like reinvent something, make it your own, make it special and beautiful, but still do justice to like the original artist.
Yes, we talk about that a lot, actually, because a lot of what happens is that you're taking these old, beautiful, these precious pieces of art and reinventing them continually in the modern time. So there's this way that you have a relationship with people from the past, and you're creating something new in the present moment that can shift and change in the future. So there's this way that you're sort of living in this dynamic spectrum.
I
It's
feel like
very
what else
profound.
in life
Does that happen?
Right, maybe language.
Language.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But not to like the dynamic extent of music.
And probably for language, there's a mostly subconscious component to
Right.
the way that evolves and changes. Whereas with this, because it is an art form, there's a lot of intentionality.
Right.
About wanting to put your own mark, your own spin on something that's old.
Right. That was deep.
Same to you.
I like it. Alex says she's singing the harmony line from Home, Emily.
Oh, get in here, Alex.
Teresa, you're obviously
She's
your
my
family.
sister.
She says you guys sound fantastic, ladies.
Thank you.
Give it a like and a share on any of the streams that you guys are watching. I love this.
Good.
Can we
do too.
more music?
Sure.
I love this.
Sure.
Best part of my day here.
Okay, good. Us too. Definitely. Want to do Lay Me Pallet on Your Floor? Yeah. So we're going to do, this is an old blues song, a Mississippi John Hurt song,
Okay.
that's also been done by tons and tons of people, called Lay Me Down a Pallet on Your Floor.
Cool.
Hang on, I'm a little...
Jay Wyan and Troy, thank you for sharing that stream, Jay. I appreciate you. Aaron King from Feast is watching the program right now.
I got to get this one under my hand, in my mind. So it starts on the G. Okay. So I'll just kick it off. 1, 2, 3. Lay me a pallet on your floor. Lay me a pallet on your floor. Lay me down a pallet soft and low. Where I'm going, I got nowhere to go. Go ahead, Malia. Weary blues are everywhere I see. Weary blues are everywhere I see. Weary blues, honey, everywhere I see. Nobody's got the blues quite like me. Way I'm sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. Way I'm sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. Come tomorrow, honey, I'll be satisfied if I've got a fast train to ride. Lay me down a pallet on your floor. Lay me down a pallet on your floor. Lay me down a pallet soft and low. Where I'm going, I got nowhere to go. Where I'm going, I got nowhere to go.
Love it, love it, love it. The people that are watching it are loving it too. Rob Hubbard, a good friend of the program, tremendous drummer.
Indeed.
Watching the program right
Really
now.
good friend of mine.
Giving you guys some props. Blake Brain, am I saying Blake's name?
Oh, hey, Blake.
Watching the show. Chuck Shelton says hello.
Shelton.
Wally Hughes giving you some props right now. We have Grace watching in Charlotte. Welcome to the program. Constance Wyatt, hello. Talk to us about that too.
Well, I think that Doc Watson's version of that is the one that I probably am the most familiar with. But it's been covered by lots of famous folk, and I love the chord progression of that song.
Talk to me about that.
It's just got this kind of funky little minor thing that happens in the middle that I enjoy.
Okay.
I don't know what to say other than that. It's just pretty.
It is pretty. It is pretty. What do you like about it?
Well, the funny thing is, I think I actually learned a version with different chords.
Oh, for
That I
real?
noticed when I was playing, I was like, oh, wait, I think we're doing something different. But that's also because it's a song that everybody loves and plays.
In different
But,
ways.
yeah, but I think it has kind of that old sort of bluesy sound, which is
Yeah.
really fun, and which makes it also really fun to play.
How about kind of like a deeper macro question here? The evolution of bluegrass. Like bluegrass has like a lot of different faces, if you may. And I'm seeing some bluegrass. I love music when I'm watching bluegrass. Get influence of some like almost pop music. You know a hell of a lot more about this than I do. How are you seeing bluegrass change in your life?
Well, I'll be really honest. I don't listen to bluegrass that much.
Okay.
I do play on the bluegrass circuit a bit, and it definitely has changed. And I feel like now the way it's changed is that a lot more things are being called bluegrass,
Okay.
which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because it can range the spectrum of more, a little bit more jam bandy to the very kind of popish,
Yeah.
tight, kind of more modern country influences.
Right.
To more traditional high lonesome sound of bluegrass. So yeah,
What do you attribute that change to?
I don't know. Music just changes. I think it's just that people, maybe grew up hearing it, but then they also grew up hearing other kinds of music that they liked, and then they want to create their own thing. So they take the influences that they have and make something new.
Maybe the ubiquitous nature of technology and the affordability of technology infiltrating the music space, just throwing that out there. Thoughts on the topic in general?
Sure, I think that's true. I think that one thing that people often don't know is that bluegrass is a form of pop music, and
I did not know that.
And it's modern, and
Okay.
it started, I guess, technically in the
50s-ish.
50s with Bill Monroe.
Okay.
He sort of invented it.
Really?
And then Flatt and Scruggs started, Earl Scruggs started playing a very particular style of banjo, and they wrote a bunch of songs, but what they were doing was taking a lot of different music forms, country music, blues music, rock and roll, and turning it into Appalachian folk and fiddle music, and turning those into a style of music that is its own thing, that is very, very modern. The roots of this music are, the roots of bluegrass are with blues, rock, and Appalachian, and often people don't really know the difference. But the banjo is an African instrument that came, yes, this came with the enslaved people When they arrived, they would make banjos out of gourds in the mountains and fields where they worked, and it got appropriated by white culture.
Interesting.
Yes, in the 1920s. And the banjo was actually it was probably the most popular instrument to have in your home, maybe other than a piano, although those were only owned by wealthy people in the early turn of the century, last century. It was a parlor instrument. People played ragtime on them and played all different styles of music on banjos. It's now associated with bluegrass and country music, but for a long time it was very commonly held in the homes of people who could afford them.
Do you like, I think I know your answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you like that we're seeing bluegrass become even more mainstream?
Well, I don't know if like is the word. It is definitely happening. And I just as Malia was saying, music changes and evolves over time. And what we are seeing happen, one of the things that happens to us at the Front Porch is that, people like to point at a song and label it a certain genre, right? Like that's blues or that's jazz. No, that's bluegrass.
Like
bluegrass,
the stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they like to feel like they own it. And we like to name things. That's just the thing that people do. We like to name things, and then it helps us understand the sort of taxonomy of where we exist in the world. It makes us feel safe. And so, bluegrass has this very improvisatory element to it. Often in bluegrass, people take breaks. You hear Malia improvising on her fiddle basically the entire time we're playing today. And that's all just stuff that's coming from her years and years of practice where she can translate these melodies into different forms on her instrument. And that is a characteristic of bluegrass music. I will also say that it is often a misperception, and one thing that we like to talk about at the Front Porch, that's all we teach at the Front Porch, which is definitely not the case. We offer lots of different kinds of music lessons and classes. We do have the core of what we offer is a folk style of music that translates well to learning bluegrass or learning country music or learning folk music, because it's easy to start playing with people quickly.
Sure. And popular in this community.
And popular in Central Virginia, and we're really interested in representing that.
Right.
But we also have students who take electric guitar, and we have voice lessons, and we have piano lessons, and we have jazz jam once a month, and we have an African drumming circle every Saturday morning, and we're interested in world folk traditions. We book lots of different artists from all over the world who come and play in our venue. So it feels important to me. Malia and I have been steeped in this music since we were children, and thus that's why we're playing it. But I want to make clear that it's not all we do. There are multitudes of ways that we express music at the Front Porch other than these. And I love this conversation.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
not trying to derail us.
No.
Just saying.
I love this
I just
conversation
wanna
as well. How do you
honor
evolve?
that.
How do you continue to evolve the Front Porch? What are your plans?
Well, I'm a big dreamer, and there are lots of plans that are in discussion. In the near term, our plans are to continue to finish our curriculum and go deep and broad here in Charlottesville, serving as many people as we possibly can with music, connecting everyone that wants to be part of it. That is my goal, to be able to touch as many people as possible in the Central Virginia area and transform people's lives through music. That is what I want to do. If there is an opportunity for us to do that in deeper ways that are consistent with other forms of music traditions, I'm really open to that. I'm interested in offering more kinds of music for jamming, really opening up and diversifying that scene at the Front Porch, and also growing our outreach program, which we call Roots and Wings, and being able to touch many more children in the Central Virginia area through music that way. So those are my near-term goals.
We have a question coming from
Go.
Grace in Richmond about
wanna
your
hear it.
curriculum.
Go.
And she wants to know if you have aspirations of offering a curriculum that appeals to the African American or urban community.
Yes, so we are, that's a longer question. We are partnering with the African American Heritage Center at the Jeff School to start a school of music that is specifically dedicated to and targeted to teaching what we call black music, and that's a very broad term, and we define it in lots of ways. But we'll be working with the great folks at the African American Heritage Center to develop a curriculum and a program that specifically reaches those children who want to learn that music, and it's another program that is a partnership program that is nascent. So we're just starting to do that. The program is called Echo Ise.
Cool.
And it's a new initiative that is a partnership program of the African American Heritage Center run by Andrea Douglas and the Front Porch. The person who's spearheading this is a wonderful person, Leslie Scott Jones, who I've been working with, and we're in the fundraising stage for that. But it's a really exciting program.
I got a follow-up for that. Our friends Alex Bragg and Sean Bracken watching right now. Heather Hightower, welcome to the program as well. A lot of folks watching. My follow-up to that, and what I'm trying to use with our platform is try to be as representative of our community as possible.
Same.
And I know that's what you're trying to do. And I think often that Charlottesville, whether through terminology like gentrification, is becoming a very, is homogenous the right word? A very like, look the same community. And as a father, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because I want our son to grow up in as diverse a community as possible, like my wife and I did. And I'm nervous because Charlottesville is going to be long-term, forever. I'm nervous that our son, may not have that opportunity for diversity because of macro elements that are out of our control. So throw this to you, pass the baton to you, like how as a leader, whether we like that term or not, we are, as an influencer, how we can leverage that influence or network to combat what's happening.
Sure. I'm going to put my banjo down for a second because this is serious business.
Yes.
I have a few things to say about that.
Yeah.
One is that the housing crisis is real.
So real.
And there's a lot of great, smart people doing a lot of great, smart work to help that.
And you saw it firsthand in Belmont.
Yes, and it continues. It's real. One individual cannot solve that. It is a systemic issue that makes it even more imperative that we're careful about how we vote and really look hard at this issue and make sure that the people, and this is me getting on a political platform, I apologize.
No, please.
But make sure that the people that you vote for local elections could not be more important. We have big local elections coming up next Tuesday.
Huge,
Vote
3 open spots.
For the city council as well as for the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
So critical time to educate yourself on important issues, and that is what we can do is we can vote. We can also be activists and make a difference by having open conversations about this.
Yes.
So the housing crisis is one example. The place, I'm a school person. I've been involved in education my whole life. My kids are in the public school system here in Charlottesville. And so for me as a parent, being involved in making sure that the public school programs are as equitable and make so that they level the playing field for as many children as possible. And if you don't mind, I would love to talk about that for 1 second concerning what we do with music. Is that cool? So one of the things that we're trying to do with our Roots and Wings program is level the playing field so that all children are able to be successful in the music programs there are so many really amazing music programs available to kids in Charlottesville. We're blessed. There are lots of places around the country where there are no arts programs whatsoever in the public schools. We are rich with incredible arts programs. We also have an incredible equity gap in our community.
It's so obvious.
It's so obvious,
Yeah.
it's so deep, it's so wide, and I'm happy that this is something that we are talking about openly
Yes.
in our city now.
I think it's one of the positives, and I'm throwing it back to you, and I don't mean to interrupt, one of
Interrupt,
the positives that has manifested since August 12th. We're having
Agree.
real
Having
conversations,
real conversations
where
that feel
before it was
hard.
swept under the rug or disregarded, or we were like labeled as the best city to live in America.
Right.
And because
Meanwhile.
of this moniker, we were just like so like, you know, had blinders on.
Well, many people did. I would say that the African American community here has been fully
Screaming it.
Oh yeah, for years and years and
Right.
years, and it's taken this us way too long to catch up to that conversation. But lots of cool things are happening. I am heartened by the change in living wage that is happening at UVA.
Yes.
That could not be more monumental.
Sure.
And also, one of the things that we do, tiny little step that we're making, is by providing musical mentors to students in the public school systems.
Love it.
So we send professional musicians into Walker twice a week. They go in and work with students in the band program there, and take individuals or small groups and help give them support that they need so that they can feel successful. Because often what will happen is if the very first time you pick up an instrument is in the 5th grade and you've never had an early childhood music class, you may feel bad at music.
Right.
And apt to quit.
Right.
And so what we would like to do is limit the number, we want as many kids to stay in the music program as we possibly can, because my children are the beneficiary of this incredible program at Charlottesville High School, and I want that to be available and for as many kids to feel like they can be successful as possible. So our goal with this program, which we call Musical Mentors, it's part of our Roots and Wings program, is to reach as many kids as we possibly can through this mentorship relationship so that they can be successful. We work with Bob Dunnenberger and Susan Allen at Walker right now, and we'd love to grow that program to be at Buford and then at Charlottesville High School and continue to lift kids up through music as much as we can. It's an early program that we're piloting right now.
Lori Durr,
Hey, Lori.
she says, tell it, Emily, Robey Morrison. Yes, yes, yes. Roots and Wings program. Roots and Wings program. Krista Tortora, thank you all for the hard work you do. Music heals the soul and the world. I honestly, and I'm just going to throw this back to you, and I can talk about this with you all day. And I
Me
like
too,
your
same.
passion is
Yes.
like, passionate as well. If it's like a common language, music, and it undoubtedly is, and there's few out there, math, another one. We need this common language to be as like assimilated and as far and wide as possible, and to think, and I totally understand, I hope I do, the privilege of being a white male, and the advantages that I have that say an African American female or an African American male do not have, just because of the color of my skin. And the fact that music, and to get involved with music, and I'm not saying this is the case, but perhaps it is. It's certainly the case in athletics. It's certainly the case in like tutoring from a standardized test standpoint, is like limited, or there's like this barrier of entry of having money. That is so effed up. And that is like a generational like impact that's happening. And I'm giving you props here, like people like you that are like breaking down these systematic barriers and like saying this is something for the masses, regardless of the color of your skin, is huge to creating, like, to keeping what's happening in Charlottesville, like to perpetuating what's happening in Charlottesville.
Well, and I want to be clear also that I feel that what we're doing is so small compared to what we could do. There's an enormous need in terms of, I feel that one of the needs that we're serving is by providing excellent after-school activities and during-school activities for kids, and I would love to be able to do more.
Sure.
For us, the limitation is just funding, really. But there are also tons of other folks in the area who are similarly doing great work. So I want to just give them props. I want to give props to my dear friends who are all public school music teachers who work really hard to meet the kids that they that they serve every single day. They're doing incredible work, and our hope is that we can support and promote and supplement so that all of our kids have an equal playing field. One of the things that we both know is that music education is tied to cognitive, it boosts cognitive abilities, test scores go up, social and emotional learning and social and emotional intelligence increases. When children sing together, their hearts synchronize. And these things are, not only is it good for our brains, but it's good for the soul, the heart and soul of our community.
Well, and just the communal aspect of having like a group of people playing music, and then you can have, a white person, a white male, a white female, a black person, a black male, black female, someone that's, I'm Cuban, okay? All in a circle doing one thing in common. I mean, that right there is going to be like good for Charlottesville.
That's right. That's right. That is the goal, is for what we do to serve the world. And I always say, when the room looks like the world, then we're doing our job.
Oh, love that. Love that. Love what you're doing. Gosh, I could talk with you for like 2 days about this. Anything you need, anything you need at all, seriously.
Thank you.
I mean that. Anything you need at all. I would love if you have some time to like maybe one more song. We're at 1:30, and you guys crush it. Can we do one more?
Yeah. We can. We don't know what it is.
Should we just do a tune, or do you want
Yeah,
to
just do a
That was a
tune.
great discussion.
In the key of D would be awesome.
Yes. Okay.
Front Porch, guys. The Front Porch.
Soldier's Joy. Do you know Soldier's Joy? Okay.
Man, you make that fiddle
She's
like,
so
oh my
good.
God.
I know, she's so
It's
good.
like, I have goosebumps, Malia. Seriously, goosebumps. Jackson Boylan, oh yeah, great interview, Em.
Oh, thanks, Jackson. Sorry I couldn't talk to you when you stopped by earlier today. Love you.
Great interview.
Thank you.
Powerful discussion. Powerful stuff that you guys are doing. How can people get involved? How can people contribute financially with their time?
Yes, I mean, financially, definitely. We're getting ready to do our big, year-end annual push appeal, and all donations are readily accepted. We also want to just push and promote our winter session of classes, which they are going to be launched actually today. So you can go online and see what we're offering for our winter session, which starts after the holidays. We have a little mini session of November workshops, a kind of eclectic collection of classes that are fun and just last for 1 month. It costs about $100, and you can come, and they're great for beginners or early intermediate players. Carter Family Songs is a good example of that, but we have a class where they're learning the tunes of the band from the last waltz, and we have a honky-tonk class for ladies and a harmony singing class for ladies, a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. So I encourage people to sign up for a class, tell your friends about us, certainly donate to support the wide-reaching work that we do at the Front Porch.
The frontporchcville.org.
Correct.
Frontporchcville.org. Follow them on Facebook.
Yes,
they do a tremendous
that would be awesome.
job.
Just follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just
Get
do that.
involved with the brand.
Yes.
Get engaged.
Yes.
You rock.
Thanks.
Seriously, you're
It really
fantastic.
does.
Thank you, and thank you for this. I'm truly grateful. This is the highlight of the workday. Judah, highlight of your workday? Yes. Yeah, he says as well. Judah Wickhauer is your director. Emily and Malia, thank you kindly. If you guys are just watching the show now, we will archive the show in its totality on ilovecville.com. We will take the audio from today's show, and the audio was amazing, and we'll turn it into a podcast on iTunes. We will do both by close of business today. We're going to syndicate today's show across what we call the I Love CVille network, which is comprised of 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, an e-newsletter that goes out every morning to about 108,000 inboxes. We have the third largest Instagram community in Central Virginia behind UVA in the city of Charlottesville. Of course, we'll put it here on ilovecville.com and on iTunes. We close the show with the same message every single show because of, I feel like it's importance, and it's the golden rule, and we don't make this about religion. We make the golden rule strictly about treating other people in your life how you want to be treated yourself. I think Charlottesville needs the golden rule more than ever. Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country needs the golden rule more than ever. Just give it a thought. Treat other people how you want to be treated yourself. I'm Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. We try to showcase the best of Charlottesville, Virginia. Enjoy your weekend. Keep it local. Have fun. Be safe. And we'll see you on Monday with Robert Gray, the founder of the Conscious Capitalist Community. He's making inroads in the African-American community in Charlottesville and Central Virginia through educational infrastructure. So we're going to talk about his journey with his business as an entrepreneur and how he's going to try, through his vision and sweat equity, to take what he's learned in college and bring it back to the African-American community to help everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, guys. You're awesome.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
It was so fun. Anytime you want to come on, seriously. I mean that. J-Dubs, we'll get that photo, and then we'll get to work.